someone very special. Are you ready? Michael, are you ready? Jordan?
I'm so sorry.
Jordan's ready. Ladies and gentlemen, Misha Nice to see you. I mean, I saw you a few days ago.
I know. It's nice seeing you so often. I see you much more than I see anyone in my family.
Oh, yeah. I know.
And I like you more. Where have you been?
We were in Paris together.
Oh, yeah. No, that's not what I meant. Where have you been since we were in Paris?
We stayed in Paris. Me and Richard and Matt stayed in Paris for 3 days. And then we came here.
So you've been here for a couple of days?
I got in Thursday night. And then, I'm band on Friday, so I couldn't come in.
Got it. Did you spend a lot of time in the red light district in Paris?
There's a red light district? No, it's funny, we...
Worried about the back tire hitting you.
No, we actually ate dinner in the red light district without knowing it was a red light district. We're like, oh, that's the Moulin Rouge, is right up here. The Moulin Rouge, the burlesque show. And literally there was a sign across the street, and I'm not going to say it, but it said this thing in French. And I recognized it. It says women of women who something, or women of something. And I was like, oh, let's look up, and then, oh, wow, that's a dirty word. And so we realized that there were strip clubs and things.
What's a dirty word?
And I realized that there was like strip clubs and burlesque like all around, and then perfectly nice looking like restaurants, like high class restaurants.
Right.
It's just sort of like, we're just across the street from
That's also super convenient because you can go have them.
Sure. We didn't. We really didn't, but
as far as you know.
But we could have. No, but it was weird. It was a weird to actually I really didn't. I don't know why I sound so guilty.
You do.
I know. And I'm sweating, and I really didn't. I did nothing wrong.
And you have a new rash.
A new one. There's the one that was already there, and now a new one. Okay, on that note, I'm going to skedaddle.
Okay, all right.
Misha Collins.
Hi. Hi, everyone. Toronto, how are you? I've been here so many times and over the course of many years, and it was just this morning that someone told me how to pronounce the city's name. So apparently, it is yet another instance of Canadian bastardization of the English language. And it's a silent T? Toronto. I have gotten up here and sounded like an ignorant buffoon for years. Hey, Toronto! So anyway, thank you, sir. Where are you? Where's Ellen? I know, but wasn't it the... Where's our male person? There you are. Thank you, sir, for your honesty. And thank you for being... It's like walking around with something caught in my teeth. Actually, speaking of which, Ellen, thank you also for pointing out that I have my fly completely undone when I arrive. There's something wrong with these pants. Okay, so everyone, I would love to invite you to let me know as the weekend unfolds if anything else has unfolded. Because because it can go very badly. Actually, I was at a creation convention. Who knows? Maybe it was here in Toronto, and I did an entire photo session of 250 photos, and I had a jacket much like this on, inside out. And nobody said anything. So sad. You were saying you were trying to say something? Oh, you saw the fly. Oh, shit. Okay, this is going great. It's almost like that nightmare when you're in, elementary school and you show up and you're suddenly in the auditorium and you're naked in front of everyone, except for that actually almost just happened to me. I'm sorry for anyone here that I exposed myself to. I promise it was inadvertent. So supernatural conventions are a very classy affair. How many of you are new to this? What? Holy shit! Where have you been? Don't answer that. It's too long. In Montreal. Oh, so you get a T in your city name, but not Toronto. Montreal. Montreal. Montreal! You don't get a T. Jesus. Anyway, it is so nice to be here in the 51st state.
Misha.
Go Trump and long crowd. What other rude or offensive thing could I do scraping the bottom of the barrel? It is refreshing, I have to say, to be able to come somewhere and be on stage and speak frankly about Donald Trump. In the States, you have to sort of parse your words carefully. Here in Canada, not. Unless you want to say something positive about the president, and then you do have to be careful. It's been an emotional roller coaster here. Chelsea, what's on your mind?
I have a question about photo walls.
About photo walls?
Yeah.
Oh my God, thank you. I'm so glad we're finally talking about this. Yes.
So, years ago, you would seem to say yes to anything thrown at you for black holes and everything else. So I was wondering, what was the craziest thing you said yes to, and what was the craziest thing you said no to?
Are you saying that I no longer say yes to everything? Today? Now, in my defense, I wasn't the one that said no to it. It was the staff that said no. And also in my defense, we did take what felt like a somewhat inappropriate photo, if memory serves. She showed a photo and it looked like an Ella Bean photo shoot of these very pristine models that were, one is standing like this in a white t-shirt and white jeans, and then there's white t-shirts and white jeans on the other two people, and they're sitting kind of holding the knees of the person that's standing, and then his hands are on their heads. And then when we took the photo, it felt very different than it looked in a reference image. And I was like, this is not appropriate. Anyway, so in my defense, we did basically shoot a porn earlier too. Most inappropriate, God, I don't know. One person was like, oh, I remember this, they said, oh, do you mind if we just pull up a chair and you just sit in the chair? And I was like, sure, I'll sit in the chair. And then she turned around and faced me, and she was wearing a very short skirt and started doing a lap dance. And that was unexpected, to say the least. Not altogether unwelcome, but it was unexpected. And, but I think the real standout was there was someone that came up with their dolls and handed me and Jared Jensen each a doll, and Jensen got a squirrel, and I got something else with wings. But they were all roadkill that had been taxidermied. Home taxidermy, no less. Which is basically just like old roadkill. So that was a little bit of it was a big rushing in with hand sanitizer after that one. I'm sure I'm not thinking of something.
Tidy Whiteys.
Tidy Whiteys?
You just posted it.
Oh, she's pointing out that I posted a photo online a couple of days ago of last weekend's convention where a man who was wearing nothing but tidy whities held me in his arms. So I don't know what you're saying. You used to take photos. What more do you want from me, woman? Full penetration? Thank you. Hi.
Hi. I really enjoyed your poetry book, and I was wondering what the process of that was like.
Well, I just have, if I have an idea for a poem, I just type that idea into ChatGPT. No, ChatGPT sadly didn't exist when I wrote my poetry book. The process for me was one of, the very first poem I wrote was actually in my book of poetry. And it happened one morning when I was sitting in a cafe and I was like, oh. And I just sort of found myself writing a poem for no particular reason. And I wasn't an avid reader of poetry, which perhaps shows in the writing. But over the next several years, I just found that I kind of liked the almost kind of catharsis of that very brief artistic moment of expression that comes in writing a poem. And I think there was something discreet and manageable about the task. Like, all of my poems are relatively short, and I usually write them within an hour, and I edit them, and it takes more than an hour. But you know, it issues forth fairly quickly. And I kind of thought, I have ADHD, and I was like, I think this is just about the right scope of work for my brain, creative work. And but I wrote poems for like, I don't know, 5 or 6 years. And then I was like, I kind of like some of these. Maybe I'll submit them to poetry journals. And I submitted a bunch of my poems to poetry journals, and they got accepted. A few of them got accepted and were published in poetry journals. And I was like, holy shit. I was more excited. I think I was in my first year, it was season 5 of Supernatural, when I got my first acceptance letter for a poetry submission. And I was more excited about that poetry publication than I was about getting the role of Castiel on Supernatural. Way more excited. But so the process was like, it was just very organic. But then once I published some poems, it was much more difficult to write, because in the back of my mind, it was like, oh my God, maybe somebody will see this someday. And that filter made it harder for me to write for a while. And then it took another decade for me to actually publish a book of poetry. And I have lots more poems that are just sort of sitting on the hard drive of my computer, collecting digital dust. And maybe one day I'll share a few more of them. Book 2. Yes, The Leftovers. But the process was definitely very sort of organic. It wasn't like I was trying to write a book or setting out to write poetry. And I had I'm sorry, I'm gonna ramble on for just another second, but given the opportunity to talk about myself, I'll always do it. At the end of Supernatural, Supernatural ran for a long time. I don't know if any of you have seen the show, but it ran for many years. And between working on the show and working on my nonprofit Random Acts and working on Gish and working on other projects and writing things and traveling to conventions and then having 2 young kids, I was really burnt out. And at the end of Supernatural, it took me a couple of years to wind down and strip some of the other things out of my life or find ways to make them operate in a way that was like not so all-consuming so I could actually focus on spending time with my kids. And I have this kind of Buddhist meditation teacher / mentor who said, Misha, I think you need to just not try to do anything. You're always trying to do something. How about you just spend 6 months or a year with not trying to fill it with some objective? And I was like, okay, I'm gonna do that. And so I cleared my plate. And I found myself sitting down with a journal and a pen, and I started writing just because I felt like that seemed like the spontaneous thing to do. And I wrote my first short story, and I was like, oh my God, that was kind of fun. And then I wrote another short story, and then another one, and that next short story just kept going. And now I'm still working on it, and it's been like 2 years, and I'm like getting close to finishing a novel. So but that process was also quite organic. It's just like, this is like, oh, this is the thing that I'm doing now. And it turns out my ADHD isn't as bad as I thought, because I've been working on it for a long time. And given the opportunity to have like some space and time, I seem constitutionally unable to not fill it with something. So, there you go.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hi.
I wanted to first say thanks for supporting Ukrainians. We love you very, very much.
Thank you very much. Thanks for saying that.
My-
And I have Ukrainian colored. I don't know if you can see my.
I can't see. Oh my God.
I'm not limber enough to do like super high pitch, but one's blue and one's yellow. Those are the colors of Ukraine. There's a big Ukrainian population here in Toronto. And a couple of great Ukrainian restaurants and one like Ukrainian restaurant bar apparently. Yeah, there's some stuff happening here. I'm telling you that, but you know it already because you live here and you're Ukrainian. Yeah.
My question is, you played cast for so long. Are there parts of cast that you've taken into your everyday as Misha? Any like lessons or anything like that?
Well, a lot of the physicality of Cass, like the facial structure and the bones, I've noticed I've sort of like I'll look in the mirror and I'll be like, kind of looks like Cass. I don't know that I don't know. I'm sure, yes. I'm sure the answer is like if I sat on a therapist's couch for long enough, I could find the things in my life.
I am a therapist.
Oh. Do you have a couch?
I have two.
Really? Wow. So you get a couch and your patients get a couch?
My boyfriend does.
Your boyfriend gets a couch and you get a couch. So your boyfriend likes to watch.
The other way around.
Fascinating. I was having with my ex-wife and I one day. This was like 20 years ago. We were having a fight one day, and she was like, "This is ridiculous. We're going to couples therapy." And I was like, "No, we're not." And she said, "Yes, we are." And so she looked through the SAG, Screen Actors Guild, therapist directory, where like these were covered therapists that our insurance would cover, and like started calling a few numbers, and one was available in Burbank, which is like just over the hill from where we lived in Hollywood, and available like right now. So we went for an emergency couples therapy session, and we sat. And we were like walking down the street looking at the address, and it was like, is this it? And it was like, there was a Goodwill, it was right, a storefront right on Magnolia Boulevard, which is a super busy street. It was like a Goodwill, a little door with a window, and a Carl's Jr. fast food joint. And they were all like nestled right next to each other. I was like, man, is that the therapist's office? And we went in, and sure enough, like she had this little dinky office with a window right on Magnolia Boulevard that was, there was no curtain, it was an open window. So we're doing therapy in front of, like, people just streaming by on the sidewalk, and we're talking to the therapist. And she sits in her chair, we sit on the couch next to us, like next to each other. And so we start talking, and like, oh, we're having, this trouble. And she's like, well, how long have you been together? And we said, well, since high school. And she's like, God, since high school? That's amazing. I mean, I can't seem to hold on to a relationship for more than a few months. You are so lucky. I don't know what it is, but I like, every time I meet someone, I start to think that like, this is it. Like, this is gonna go somewhere. And then inevitably, one way or another, he ends up leaving me. And I just like, I'm actually starting to wonder if I'm always going to be alone. And it went on and on. And me and my ex looked at each other like, what the fuck? And at one point, I said, would you like to switch places? So I don't know why I had felt compelled to tell you that story, but it came up. Therapy. So yes, I feel like if I unpack things enough, I would be able to maybe identify the ways in which Castiel has impacted my life. It's a little bit hard for me to parse out because, working on Supernatural, it was such a long span. And there were so many things about working on the show itself that definitely impacted me. But certainly, getting to know that character as well as I did, when you spend a lot of time with a character as an actor, it definitely does impact you. And I think that Cass's unending drive to always try to do the right thing, even if he fucked up and didn't do the right thing, his determination to try to do the right thing always, has at least on an intellectual and conscious level stuck with me. And I think that if you were to observe my actions in the world, you'd say, no, that hasn't impacted you. But yeah, I think that there's probably also something in there about like the real like bond of those close relationships between Cass and Dean and Sam, like those fraternal bonds that we ended up having were also, I think, that probably also stuck with me. Thanks for your question. Hi.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Good. Happy to see you.
Happy to see you.
My question is about Castiel.
Oh, you've come to the right place.
So he spent a little bit of time as a hunter, both as a human and a little bit as an angel. Can you talk a little bit about his hunting style, if he learned to use any weapons besides the angel blade, Cass's fighting style generally?
Did Cass ever learn to use any weapons other than the angel blade?
He's shotgun once.
What's that?
He's shotgun once.
Once.
Yes.
Oh, the Molotov cocktail. Thank you. Yeah, Cass was he was a badass warrior, who didn't really know how to do any fighting. As it turns out. What's that?
I think he had some good strategies.
We did do a little bit of knife fighting at one point. I think, I maybe don't have, like, I didn't get in a lot of fist fights. I remember Jared and Jensen, when they started on, how old was Jared when he started on Supernatural?
22.
22.
22, 23. He was a young buck. And they would go out and have a few drinks and get in a bar fight. And I was like, what? You got in a fight with another human being? I would never in a million years do that. So it's like not like part of my constitution. I'm not somebody who's been in a lot of brawls. I've stopped a lot of fights. Like, I'll wedge myself in between people and be like, oh, can't we all just get along? But I'm not one to throw punches, which I think really comes across on screen. Yeah, thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks for bringing up that sore spot. Hi.
Hi, my name is Valor, and my question is,
Hi,
if
Valor.
you and Cass were unanimated objects in a dating sim, what would you be?
If we were inanimate objects
In a dating sim, what would you be?
in a dating what?
Dating sim, what would you be?
Simulation. Video game.
Fake dating.
A dating sim?
Yeah.
It's a real game. Like, it's a real game where you can date unanimated objects.
It's simulated dating between
Yeah.
inanimate objects?
Yes.
I've never felt so lost in my entire life. What is happening? Inanimate objects.
Yes.
A salt shaker. Can be in a dating app?
Yes. It's a real thing. It's a real game.
Like Grindr?
No, like,
But I would be a pepper mill then.
like you can literally, like, the unanimated objects become human.
They
In the
become.
game. Yeah, it's so weird.
So wait a minute, you play a game in a dating app with an inanimate object representing you as like an avatar, and then if you unlock enough things, it becomes human, and you have sex with it? What is happening?
It's a whole sort of dating game where, like, your home objects, like your toaster, they come alive and are human. It's a real thing. It's honestly really bad.
That is not real.
Honestly, I'm not joking.
Okay, well, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna get a therapist. Hi.
Misha. Speaking of therapy, I'm actually a therapist, so.
Oh my God. Is everyone here a therapist?
Yes.
There's another one there. Raise your hand if you're a therapist. Raise your hand if you're first time in the convention. Raise your hand if you're, keep your hand up if you're also a therapist. If anyone needs a therapist, there's one. Okay. So if we should turn on some business. After this panel, if you need a therapist, identify one of the people that has their hand up right now, and you can look at everybody in line is a therapist. Jesus.
My question is, so we know that Castiel's a little bit more on the awkward side. He's kind of trying to navigate how to be human in some ways.
Yes.
How do you think he would navigate his first therapy session?
I think that he would talk about his father issues. He doesn't really talk about his mom a lot, does he? Maybe that's something to dig into a little bit for Castiel. I think it would be fascinating, and probably Cass could have gotten to the end of his story much more quickly if he had had a little therapy. I don't think Sam and Dean or Crowley offered that shoulder that he needed to really unpack his feelings. And I don't think his angel brethren were terribly helpful in that department either. So I think it would have been useful for him. Instructive. Just like the pizza man was.
Yeah, I feel like he'd probably like try to like ask therapist questions. Like he'd be one of those clients.
Yeah, he would have tried to turn it around on the therapist probably to evade the questions. Maybe that's what I was doing in that couples therapy session. No, the other thing about that therapy session, I just remembered, I knew there was one other thing. She was like, so what do you two do? And I was like, well, I'm an actor. And she was like, oh yeah, that can be really hard. And I was like, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I've been, filming a couple things. And she was like, really? I've been auditioning for stuff, and I can't seem to book a goddamn thing. I don't know, is there something like, what? And then she started asking me for tips on auditioning. I knew I was forgetting something about that. Anyway, thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, are you a therapist?
No, well, I'm a
respiratory therapist. So,
Yes, you are a therapist. If your job title has the word therapist in it, I think it counts.
okay, unrelated question. So a few years back, I believe it was for Gish, you put out a cool video where at night you got to tour the Winchester Mystery House. And I just thought I'd ask you a little more about that. Like, how was that? Did you find it like really creepy, really interesting?
I don't remember it at all. Bring back Gish? Who has participated in Gish here? Ah, that's about the same amount. Are you all therapists now? We had so much fun with Gish over the years. I was just reflecting on it this morning and all of the mayhem. I think that early on when I joined Supernatural and like started a Twitter account and realized there was suddenly this way to communicate with hundreds of thousands, millions of like eager, creative fans who were looking for something cool to participate in. I was like, oh my God, I can really fuck shit up. And somebody mentioned that they worked at Disney, yes, Shanda, and I was like, oh yeah, I remember I posted Disney's Lost and Found Department's phone number online, like, call if you need help, and they had to change their number. Ridiculous. Yeah, I posted early on I posted my phone number online, and I got 175,000 voicemails. And that's not an exaggeration. And I got a call the next day from an attorney who said, cease and desist, you published my client's phone number online. They got 900 phone calls yesterday, and it is destroying their retail business. So you need to publicly print a retraction of that. And I was like, it's my number. And he was like, no, it's not. Here's the number. And he read it out, and I was like, that's not the number. They had inverted 2 of the digits. And there were that many dyslexic people that messed up just those 2 digits. Anyway, I don't know how we got on this tangent. Gish, you mentioned Gish. Yes. I don't remember. I mean, I remember that photo, but I don't remember the tour very well. I think we rushed through it.
It was like you and your son, and it was nighttime.
Where is that? Yeah, that's like
California somewhere.
San Jose. Yeah, I should go back because it's really foggy for me. Yeah. There's a Winchester here, a Winchester Street, if I'm not mistaken, in Toronto. Yeah, I remember taking a picture in front of that sign more than I remember the Winchester history mention. Hi.
Hi, I'm Brooke. I was wondering if Castiel met Soldier Boy. How would that interaction go?
I think it would be awkward for Cass, because Cass would be like, Dean! And Soldier Boy would be like, and then he would say something nasty and homophobic and then walk away. So I don't think it would go well at all.
Thank you.
Hi.
Hi, my name is Rose, and my question was, if Castiel was a demigod instead of an angel, who does godly parent be?
Who does godly parent be?
Yes.
Well, Chuck.
No.
Demigod,
Great. Like that.
Like Percy Jackson.
Half human, half God?
Yeah.
I see. What do you think? Why don't you answer the question for me?
Honestly, I'd probably say Pan, he's the god of the wild.
Oh, I love that choice. Thank you. And in the front row here, they've nodded in approval. So you answered that quiz question very well.
Also, my brother would like to know, did the pizza man truly love the babysitter?
Yes. It was true love. So here in Toronto, they filmed The Boys. I guess I could say we filmed The Boys too, even though I just had a cameo in the show. But I remember coming to a convention here. I had brunch with Phil Segrisha, who was our producer director on Supernatural, but he was also producer director on The Boys. And I was like, how's it going? How's The Boys? And he's like, it is great. It's great. There's no censorship. So we can do whatever we want. Like on Supernatural, they had what's called standards and practices. So like if there was going to be a beheading in Supernatural, you couldn't actually watch the beheading happen. You could maybe see the head on the ground afterwards, but they would like cut away and not actually show the knife going through the neck, for example. And of course, Kripke was just loving the fact that he could show the knife going through the neck, etc. And Phil Segrisha said, we can do anything we want, there's no censorship. And I was like, what do you mean? He's like for instance, we're shooting a porn right now. And I was like, what are you talking about? He's like, no, really, like actually shooting a porn. And it turns out, like that episode Herogasm, they hired real porn stars to shoot that. And when they were filming it,
Hi, I'm Jessie.
Hi, Jessie.
I'm from Ottawa.
Hi, Jessie from Ottawa.
So I'm not a therapist. I'm a high school librarian. And I really feel that books and words have the power to shape who we become. I want to ask, what book or series has had the biggest impact on your life and why?
Oh my gosh, I don't know if I can identify one that has had the biggest impact on me. I've read some Buddhist texts that really stuck with me. I love Crime and Punishment when I was young and read it a few times. There's a book that's super nerdy that changed my perspective on time, which is called Annals of the Former World. It's a 600-page tome on North American geology, and I truly loved that book. The thing that I took away from it that I can synopsize here is, if my outstretched arms represent the history of the world, then a single stroke of a nail file on your fingernails removes all of human history from that timeline. And that perspective was just kind of like earth-shattering for me and has really stuck with me. Yeah, I think probably those are that and Mad Magazine, which was very seminal for me as I was developing. In the U.S., they're closing a lot of libraries. This is my kids' schools have closed their libraries, and it's like a very common thing now.
I know there's some provinces across Canada where they're starting to shut down as well.
Really?
It's really unfortunate.
It is really unfortunate. It's hard. I'm noticing it's hard to get the kids to keep reading because like their devices are so mesmerizing. But I've noticed I'm reading less too. Like all of the digital distractions are pulling my attention away, which is kind of horrifying.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
But fortunately, in our library, we've been very lucky. Our grade 7 and 8 students especially are very, very avid readers. We have 20 students coming in first thing in the morning before classes to borrow books.
Oh, that's awesome.
We had over 4,000 checkouts this year alone.
Well, keep it up.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hi.
Hi, I'm Alessandra.
Hi, Alessandra.
Hi. My question is, who do you think you were in a past life? What kind of person?
Well, if karma is a real thing, not a very good one. I don't have an answer for that question. Have you figured out who your past life
I think my
personas were?
I have a very high fascination with Japanese culture, so I like to think I was someone Japanese in the past.
Okay. Or you just love sushi. Yeah. I don't know. I haven't dredged my memory bank past birth. So I don't really have a strong sense. I know there's some people who are like, oh, I was definitely royalty. I don't think I was royalty. I think I was probably up to some no good, is my guess. Yeah. Thanks for the question.
Thank you.
Yeah, bye. Hi.
Hi, my name is Marta. I also live from Ukraine.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so I...
Where do you live now?
In Winnipeg.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I want to say a great thank you for all volunteering jobs that you are doing for Ukraine. Thank you very much. And could you please just share the weirdest experience in Ukraine that you got?
The weirdest experience in Ukraine?
Yeah.
I would say it was probably hearing air raid sirens go off and then being like, everybody, I was like, oh, everybody is like not really going down into air raid shelters, it's fine. And then there was this huge explosion out the window and the whole building shook. And I was like, maybe I should be going down into the air raid shelter. I guess there were so many experiences. I kind of couldn't believe the company that I was in. Like I was, the weirdest experience. I've been to Ukraine 3 times, but the last time I was there, I was meeting with various different people, and one of them, his name is Misha, and he was Minister of Technology, and he's done some amazing things in Ukraine, but he's also sort of in charge of the army of drones, among other things. So he's like really innovating. And there were like, there was a small little cadre of people that were sort of ushering me around all day, and I had a train at 6:30, and I had to go, catch the train later, but we were trying to squeeze all these things in, and the last stop was this Minister of Technology. And so we talked, and I went into his office, and he was like, I really shouldn't be showing you this, Misha. And I was like, oh, Misha, you should be showing me. And he was like, no, Misha, I really shouldn't show you, but I'm so excited. Don't tell anyone. But we've just come up with these new aquatic drones. Let me show you the video footage. And he pulls up his phone and shows me video footage of this aquatic drone. It's basically a boat that's filled with explosives. He was like, we signed an agreement with the Russians. They violated all of the agreements, so we're not going to honor the agreement that we wouldn't blow up the bridge to Crimea. Oh, we're going to blow up the bridge to Crimea with this, but don't tell anybody. What is happening here? And they were like, and then the attendants were like, knocking on the door, and they're like, Misha, we do have to go. We have to get you to the train. And I was like, it's okay. We've got a little time. And I knew I was cutting it close, but I like to sort of cut it close. Anyway, so Misha showed me this. He's like, don't tell anyone. And then I get out, like we're walking out of the office, and they're like, come on, Misha, come on. And I was like, I think we've got enough time. We're in school. And I'm like, no, we have to go. We're quite late. And I was like, I thought we have time. It's 6:30, and the train station. They're like, no, 6:13, not 6:30. And I was like, oh shit. So then we start hustling, and they're like, Ukrainian trains, they leave on time. They're not going to wait for you.
Yeah.
And the attendant is with me, but she's like, but it's okay, I have the phone number for the Minister of Trains. So she calls the Minister of Trains, and she's like, the train to Warsaw, you have to like stall the train, because we have Misha coming in, and so we're like hustling through the train station, and we get down, we're coming down the stairs, and the train to Warsaw pulls away. And I was like, oh fuck. Because I really needed to be on that train. And I was like, oh no, I thought you called the Minister of Trains. And she was like, I did call the Minister of Trains. And then she gets on the phone and she's like, in Ukrainian, like yelling at the guy, like, what the fuck? I told you we had to wait and hold the train. And he was like, oh, sorry. I told him to hold the train. I don't know what happened. He said, okay, I can't stop the train where it is now, but I can stop it on the outskirts of town, but you have to get there as quickly as you can. So we run back upstairs, we jump in this car, and the driver is like, now we give it the directive, you have to get to the outskirts of town as fast as you possibly can. And he thinks that we're in the Bourne ultimatum. And I'm not kidding, like he pulls out of the train station That's like 60 kilometers an hour. 65. And immediately behind us, like he cuts a car off, and immediately behind us, I hear the sound of a car accident. Like, he's immediately causes a car accident. And then he's just like weaving through the traffic. And I guess like he's got whatever government, badge that he needs or something, because he's just driving straight through red lights. And buses are stopping, everything. We finally get to the train station, not train station, out to the outskirts of town, where this gigantic train has stopped and is waiting for me. And they drop me off, but it's like 14 cars long, and they drop me off at the front of the train, and I'm at the back of the train. And I'm running along the train, in the gravel, on the railroad track, like running alongside of the train, because it's not a train station. And everyone on the train has their heads out. Who the fuck is this guy? And they give me a bottle of wine as a gift, which is in my backpack. And the zipper comes undone, and the bottle of wine goes falling out of my bag, shatters on the ground, and then everyone is watching me as I just decide to leave all of the glass on the ground, and finally got on the train. And then it's a 15-hour train ride, but it's a unique experience because now I'm on a 15-hour train ride with an entire train full of people who hate me. So that was probably the weirdest experience.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Hi.
Hi. Oh, that's good. So this is my first one. Hi, nice to meet you.
Hi. Welcome.
Thank you. How are you, Mish?
I'm good, except I just banged my teeth on the microphone, so.
Same here.
Did you really?
Yeah, I did with my Sorry. I have one request and one question for you. So the request is.
Okay.
The request is, so Jensen told us that he has a behind-the-scenes video of the confession, Castiel's confession.
Uh-huh.
And he told he would release it, but then he forgot. Could you please remind him of this?
I think you should remind him.
Probably if I get a chance.
Okay.
And the question is, if you were a ghost, who would you haunt? In real life or in SPN, doesn't matter.
I think probably, oh goodness, I would try to make use of my time as a ghost.
Like what?
Well, I would probably want to haunt Trump. I would just drive him to the brink of insanity.
Short trip.
Good point. Good catch. Thank you, everyone. I would just love it if like at press conferences, he's like, and we're going to make a deal with the Iranians. Anyone see that? Anyway, what was I saying? Yeah, thank you for that prompt. Yeah. Bye. Hi.
Hi, Misha. My name is Shilpa.
Hi.
This is also my first time here.
Well, welcome. Welcome. How's that going for you so far?
It's been like a dream for me.
Really?
I mean, our family watches the Late Show, and we are a huge fan of you.
Really? Are you a therapist? You are. Let me ask you a question before you go any further. What like psychological traits do you think draws a person to Supernatural as a show? Like, can you typify what it appeals to? Can we identify, like, collectively? We have so many therapists in the room. Maybe we can figure something out here. What is it?
I mean, I think like for me, like personally, like for me, like since I'm in a job that's more like draining to speak with people, I was just like trying to analyze the character of being Sam and you specifically to know about what draws you to this job as a hunter, as an agent to know about it. And I specifically focus on like cognitive behavior therapy. So every word or every sentence that you had in your like script was just making me think a lot. And I was sharing to my husband, who's also a fan of you. So yeah, that's just something which I do as an artist and also to watch the show. We have also watched it more than 3 times.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Do you think that causes any lasting psychological damage?
Sometimes I would say for some like episodes for sure.
Yeah.
And I mean for us it was like pretty saddening to see you die and like supernatural like out of this sudden because I mean for us it was not something which we expected to see in the show. So yeah. And for me like it's like a dream to see you here.
Thank you. Well, it's very nice to meet you.
My question is, I feel like Castiel had a like dating profile. Like what would be like bio say?
What would Cass's bio say? Cass would say he's very attentive. He likes intimacy, very close intimacy. Doesn't really need much personal space. Also doesn't need a side of the bed, which could be a real selling point because he's just going to stand and watch you while you sleep. A partner of Castiel, if they were the breadwinner, would save a bundle because he doesn't need any groceries. I think like there are a lot of selling points with Castiel. He has the capacity to be very attentive and can also, if his partner is suffering from any kind of malady, he can heal them with simply a touch of 2 fingers. Castiel's dating profile would say, I can make you feel better with just 2 fingers. That's right.
So just imagine you could look at him and your eyes were really burnt out. What do you think he'd actually look like?
Well, radiant, I would say, like very, very brilliant. I think I've seen people like with these like kind of beautiful renditions recently. Like in the last couple of years, some fan art has been like lots of eyeballs. What's that?
Biblically accurate angels.
Biblically accurate angels. Can you tell me more about that?
Wheel of fire and eyes. Yeah.
What's that?
Wheel of fire and eyes. Yeah.
Okay.
Like
fire and eyes. So
and
wheels. Wheels and fire and eyes? Oh, fuck, the Bible's fucked up. Okay. So my son has become obsessed with the Bible, and he like reads it all the time, and he's just becoming a real student of the Bible. Like he knows the whole thing inside, backwards and forwards. And he shares with me some things, and it's pretty surprising. Like there's some stuff in there that you wouldn't expect. Like angels are made of wheels and eyes, apparently. So I think he would look like wheels and eyes, and he would be about as tall as the Chrysler Building. And this is a little interesting fact. So when Cass first appeared on the scene, he was trying to communicate with Dean. I don't know if you remember that episode. It's funny, you kind of remind me of Cass. Dean was trying to communicate with Cass, Cass was trying to communicate with Dean, but when he did, like, the windows would break and the television would explode, and he was trying to find a way to communicate, but his angelic voice was so powerful that it was literally knocking out the windows. Not only was his appearance burning out eyeballs, but his voice was like making things explode. So I thought, I should have a really deep, commanding, gravelly voice when I finally find a human form. And that was a huge mistake. I thought I was only doing a couple episodes of Supernatural, and I didn't think I was going to be doing it for 12 years. And doing that voice, I was like, 6 months into filming, and I was like, I don't know what's going on, but I think I've been sick for like the last 2 months. Like, I have a sore throat that won't go away. And I went to the doctor, and I was like, I don't know what's wrong, but I have a sore throat and it won't go away. And the doctor looked at my throat, and they're like, have you been yelling really loudly? And I was like, oh, motherfucker. So I literally caused physical damage to me playing Castiel. And now that I mention it, I think I might sue Warner Brothers. Thank you for that idea. I appreciate it. Hi.
Hello.
Oi.
How are you?
Brazil.
Yes, we miss you. Just for you now, so please come back to resort soon.
Okay, I agree. Yes.
Yeah, thank you so much. So, this is my first international trip.
Did I say something to offend everybody? It was the Bible comment, wasn't it? Everybody was like, oh my God, it's blasphemy. He really is.
Oh.
I still think it was the Bible. Hi.
So, English problems. This is my first international trip, and I'm doing having a lot of first times in my life. I saw a squirrel this week for the first time ever. Yes, and it's great.
Terrifying. Terrifying.
We only have rats, you know? It's the only thing we have, so sure.
No, you have capybaras as well.
Yes, we do. So, I was wondering, when was the last time that you did a thing for the first time?
When was the last time that I did a thing for the first time?
Yes, is that correct?
Wonderful question.
Thank you so much, I know. Keep going. You have time.
I'm working.
Okay, you have time.
All of the things that are coming to mind are totally inappropriate, and I don't.
Why
is that happening? Stop it, brain. Stop. I don't have an answer for you.
No, please. I came from Brazil until then.
Shit.
You have a responsibility on your back right now.
Okay, thank God. There's a lot of pressure. I was this week, I was in Paris, and we went to the catacombs of Paris. If you haven't been, it's quite extraordinary. They had all of these limestone quarries that were just these networks of tunnels under the city of Paris, and they had all of these graveyards that were collapsing because they were so full of bodies. So they moved the remains of 6 million Parisians into these old quarries under the city. And they did it, they made the walls into these kind of beautiful, almost mosaic sculptural displays where all of the femur bones are stacked perfectly on top of one another, and then stuck in between every few inches is a skull. And it's very decorative and beautiful, and it goes on for literally kilometers and kilometers. And while in there, they have they give you a bunch of rules before you go down there, and one of them is do not touch the bones. And so I touched one of the skulls, and that was the first time I've touched a human skull.
That's pretty neat.
Hello.
Hi, I'm Josie, and I have 2 questions. One, have you watched Heated Rivalry, and what did you think of it?
Heated Rivalry is sort of the Canadian national anthem now, isn't it? I did. I watched a couple of episodes.
Watch the whole thing.
But I felt like it was very redundant. And I couldn't, it was and then 6 months go by and they see each other again. And then 6 months go by and they play a hockey game and then they see each other again.
Keep watching.
Well, I didn't make it all the way, is all I'm saying. So I'm sorry, Jesus. God. I've never seen such a crowd turn on a person so quickly. Have you all watched Heated Rival? Who hasn't watched Heated Rivalry? Oh, like half of us. Yes, I feel safe. Hi.
And my second question is, if SPL were to have their own heated rivalry, what sport would it be?
Deluge. Hello, sir.
Hi, my name is Liam. I'm from Bowmanville.
From where?
Bowmanville.
Ontario.
Ontario.
Okay. Hi. Great. Hi.
Kind of have a two-part question for you. First part, what made you get into acting?
I was interning at the White House in Washington, D.C. And I did not like, I thought I was going to go into politics. I thought I was going to go to law school and then go into politics. And I really did not like what I saw in the White House and on Capitol Hill. And I was like, there's got to be a better way to have an impact in the world. So I thought I would really quickly run out to Hollywood, get famous, and then use that to, have an impact.
Makes sense. The second part, if you could go back and do any movie or show again and redo some scenes, what would it be?
Well, I did this movie called Carla. It's a sweet family movie about Paul Bernardo and Carla Homolka. Do you know those characters? So, I know I'm kidding. Of course you know. When I got the offer for that role, I was like, oh, this sounds like cool. Like it's like a real life serial killer. It's fast. In the United States, we have so many serial killers that it's like no big deal. But up here, you guys are actually good people. So it's very different. And so I had no idea that it was like this big deal in Canada when I took the role. And the movie was terrible. The director was a psychopath. The producers ended up taking out a restraining order against the director because he threatened to come shoot people in the production office.
How very American of him.
It was very American. Ironically, the movie about serial killers almost became a mass shooting. But anyway, we got into the Toronto Film Festival, and so we came up here for the premiere of the movie at the Toronto Film Festival. Right. It's a terrible movie, don't watch it, it's not good. I played Paul Bernardo.
I personally think it's good.
Okay. Agree to disagree. But we came up and we were doing publicity for the movie, and it was in the premiere. And I was staying in my hotel room, and they slipped a newspaper the first morning under the door, and I was like, oh my God, I'm on the front page of the Toronto Sun. It's like a movie about Paul Bernardo and Carla Homolka. And turn on the TV, and they're talking about it on the morning news. I'm like, holy shit, this is a big deal. What the fuck? Turns out, there had been like a media blackout about this case, and they really treat it very seriously. And a lot of people, this was a long time ago, but it was a big deal. So I went and I did my first bit of press that I ever did. This was my first interview that I ever did to publicize any production that I was in. And it was on some national Canadian news show that was also live. So it was me and a few hosts. And it was what's it called? Breakfast television. And I sat down and I was kind of nervous, like this is my first interview, and not only that, it's a live national interview. And the host says, so why make a movie like this? And I said, well, as an actor, I'd have the opportunity to play a character who, on the one hand, is like a successful investment banker and beloved by his community, and on the other hand, a sociopathic, serial rapist and killer is just like a very rare opportunity. And she said, so you would tell the victims' families that you saw their daughter's deaths as a good opportunity for your career? Whoa! And I was like, oh, fuck. And then I just wanted to pull the cord and get out. So I would go back and I would not do the movie
I don't blame
Carla, and I would also not do that interview. Those are the two things that I would go back to do. Thank you.
I got a follow-up question. How do you handle that answer? That's a brutal question.
I stammered and got really uncomfortable and sweaty, and I turned red, and I wished I was somewhere else, which was, I think, the best way to handle it.
Yeah, no, that's
very smooth.
And that was the opening salvo?
Yeah.
That is how it started?
It was my first interview.
My first question, like, kind of
first question. But, yeah.
Well, you can only go up from there. And here we are. Ladies and gentlemen, Misha.